So what's actually going on with your body the first 2 weeks of carnivore? Let's talk about it. Days 1 through 3, your body is still running on glucose. So you have a bunch of stored glucose in your body. And once you stop eating the carbs, you're just going to continue to run off of that glucose before your body switches over to burning fat for fuel. So what you might feel is that you feel okay at first and you feel fine. Your energy is fine. Maybe you feel a little inflammation go down, but energy might not feel any changes quite yet. And then your hunger, you might start in the first couple of days getting more hungry. I noticed that days 4 through 6, and I especially noticed this for me when I switched over to carnivore, it just felt like things started to ramp up, right? I started to get headaches. I was having like a really sluggish afternoon. My hunger was starting to ramp up. Things just felt not balanced, right? And this is totally normal because what your body is doing is it's shifting electrolytes. Remember that when you stop eating carbohydrates, you're shedding electrolytes. So your body is learning how to adapt and it's learning how to access fat for fuel. Days 7 through 9, this is when appetite might start to shift. And this is when people often report in and say, I'm just not hungry. I don't feel like I need to eat. I had eggs and bacon this morning and I don't even want dinner. And that's totally normal and it's not a big emergency. I know you see a lot of people saying like, don't stop eating on carnivore. You don't want to fast. And that's definitely a message that I take to my clients. You definitely don't want to settle into under eating. But in the first like 2 weeks, I'm totally cool with people just like laying off, not feeling like they need to force themselves to eat. But on the other hand, some people in this little time period, days 7 through 9, might feel like their hunger absolutely ramps up. And that's definitely something that happened to me because I wasn't necessarily eating a lot of carbohydrates prior to starting carnivore. I was already trying to be on a low carb way of life. Days like 10 through 12, you might notice some different things with digestion. Typically around this time, we haven't had any fiber, right? And your body is adapting to that. Your stomach acid is ramping up, hopefully. Your digestion is improving. Some people might notice, oh geez, I haven't been regular with my bowel movements, and that's completely normal. If you're having diarrhea, you might want to lay off of fats a little bit just to let your body adapt. So that you can learn how to break it down and not overwhelm the system. But if you're also feeling like you're not eliminating all that much, it might just be because number one, you don't have a lot of waste or that your digestion is still adapting. So give yourself some time. Don't worry about it. You're still in the adaptation period. By the end of week 2 is when I think that most people start to say, Jess, things are really feeling good. It's like they've got that steady energy. They feel like they've got a hang of when they should eat and how the hunger cues feel. Cravings are definitely gone, which everybody really enjoys. Digestion starts to feel like it's like figuring things out. So I start to really hear a lot of really positive food journaling and mood journaling that everyone is feeling pretty good around the 2-week mark. But here's the big caveat. They're feeling good. They felt their inflammation go down, but 2 weeks in is when most people freak out because the scale is not moving enough. And if I could throw away the scale at this point, I absolutely would. I think the scale is useful and I think it's necessary. I have my clients weigh either once a week or every other week, but don't freak out about the scale. Notice the non-scale victories first and focus on those and don't change a thing. So when you're feeling like, yeah, things are rolling in the right direction, but this one piece, the scale isn't moving, do not make changes, because the changes that people typically make that I have to then resolve for them is under eating, starting to fast, thinking that they need less food, freaking out because they're eating a lot of fat on the carnivore diet and they think that they're gaining fat. So don't change a thing. We need to eat 3 meals a day. We need to eat consistently. What you don't want to have happen, remember earlier when I said, if you don't feel hunger, don't feel like you have to force yourself to eat. That's okay in the first 2 weeks, but we don't get into a habit of that, right? So we don't want to do that because then we regulate the metabolism, we start to affect hormones, and things don't really go in the right direction. So make sure that you're consistently eating and you're not overreacting to the scale not moving. So if I could leave you with a couple things to think about, you want to salt your food very generously. Don't forget about the salt. A lot of people do. You do not want to compare your time frame with anyone else's. I talk to carnivores all day long, and the first thing that I hear from people, and by the way, I do 15-minute free consultation calls. They're called discovery calls. So if you go to my bio, you can book that. You just pop into my schedule, we hop on the phone, and we talk about whatever you need to talk about. A lot of times this means that we start a coaching relationships. A lot of times it means people are like, oh, cool, I got a couple answers. I met Jess. I've been listening to her online, and they go about their day. But what I want you to do is not compare, because the most likely thing that people say on these discovery calls is, I see everyone else losing like 30 pounds the first week. What's going on? Why am I not losing that much weight? So please don't compare your timeline to anybody else's, and just make sure you put one foot in front of the other. It's all about stacking up these carnivore days one after the other and allowing your body to adapt. Sometimes we might need to do some further digging. We might need to do some lab work and some hormonal work and look at your thyroid, but you just want to give yourself time to adapt, and remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint. We're not trying to make this magic fix overnight. Hopefully what you're trying to do is learn how to live a lifestyle that is more conducive to you feeling your best, instead of feeling like you have to go on restriction diets, go back to life, restriction diet, go back to life. Let's make this a lifestyle.